Holmes, look at that window. Miss Presbury.
I have looked. There's a creeper below it and a water pipe above, which gives some foothold. It's Dvorak. Slavonic, I assume.
Are you suggesting you could climb to that window?
Dvorak, perhaps of Bohemia. Prague. Yes, there's one connection, Watson. But the once faithful dog that so hates him, the Ivied Wall, no normal man could scale.
Glad you admit that.
His creeping gait.
We didn't learn much from our bold, close inspection, did we?
No, apart from his poorly concealed rage at our intrusion, he gave little away, and his memory is more reliable than his daughter believes.
He struck me as being in possession of a perfectly clear and logical brain, and physically, there was nothing remarkable. Portly, smooth-skinned, his complexion and eyes quite healthy.
Smooth-skinned, apart from the knuckles, of course.
Knuckles?
But always look at the hands first, Watson. Then cuffs, trouser knees, and boots. The professor's knuckles were thick and horny in a way that's quite new.
What is it?
The ivy, the knuckles, the dog, and Prague.
Prague?
And Alice. Good God, no. Surely not.
What?
Connections. Horrifying connections. Back to London, Watson. You to seek out this Dvorak. I to visit Miss Edith Presbury.
But haven't I told you how I felt about the engagement, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, you have. And I would press you no further if I didn't think it necessary.
And why is it so necessary? Forgive me, but you ask me for a most unusual frankness about matters that are...
Delicate, yes.
Of a personal and family nature, certainly. So may I not ask for an equivalent openness from you?
Quite right. My investigations so far have led me to begin to make certain connections in my mind. Now, where these connections lead will decide how I must approach your father, how I might help him. Help all your family. Put it this way. I am being so bold as to ask a lovely and decorous young lady to share with a virtual stranger those secrets young women friends might share.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
Can you do that, Miss Presbury? Can you do that to save your father?
Save him?
And Alice. To save them both.
Bravo! Your playing does improve, Edith. And what a complex piece it was.
There's a deeper passion in it I can't quite reach.
What it might express, I can't say, but the sheer skill required. It's a science, too, in a way, isn't it?
Is it?
Mathematics. Each note in its place, like the components of an equation.
I met Thomas Wellwood yesterday.
Oh?
He was passionate.
He can be embarrassingly fervent, that young man.
He seemed torn between grief and anger. And he suggested you and he had an understanding.
He misunderstood. And his passion will fade. The bank will soon cure him of such adolescent indulgence.
Oh, but he's such a sweet man, Alice.
Sweet? That kind of shallow winsomeness is not for me.
But my father is.
Most certainly.
You love my father?
I don't object to the word. But there are more precise ones. I respect him, even revere him. I'm honoured that such a brilliant and striving man should want me to be his wife. I know he'll protect me, raise my understanding of the world, and I don't shrink from confessing it, raise my position in the world. I mean the world of learning, of civilization.
Well, I feel all these things for Jack.
I hope so.
But we expect more.
Then you have high expectations.
Surely it's not overly ambitious to pray for children from our marriage.
I have no such ambition.
Your life together will be one entirely of the intellect, of civilization.
And companionship, of course.
No other fulfillment? You're only a few years older than I.
And I will be your father's faithful wife. We are not French, Edith.
Alice!
That's as delicate as I can be to make sure you understand.
And does he understand? That companionship is the only...
I'm sure he must. Your father, after all, has already lived the kind of fulfillment you're talking about. You are its result, and he is justly proud of you.
I remember his face when he announced your engagement. He looked fervent. His eyes were young.
Please, can we let this subject rest?
Have I given away enough secrets now?
Yes, I think you have.
And your connections?
They become more clear.
In what direction do they lead?
They lead me to Cambridge. You, they compel to stay here. Out of danger.
Dear God, Holmes. I cannot believe this is happening.
But there it is, Watson.
It's like a nightmare.
But I see it too. We are both awake.
Do we interfere?
Not yet. You have your revolver.
Yes. Do you think...
I think when something as monstrous as this is unleashed, we must be ready for anything. Now look.
He's down. Heading round the side of the house.
Towards the stables. Good.
But the wolfhound is there.
And so should our third man be there.
The speed of him. He moves like...
Yes, Watson. I know what he moves like. Come on now. After him.
Come on, you toothless whelp. Can't reach me, can't touch me. Of course you can't. You're the runt and I'm the master. You're in chains and I'm in charge, the master. That's all mine. See? Can't reach. Having the strength, having the blood, having the brains, and me all brains and brawn, all might and main.
Professor Pressbury!
All man!
Leave the beast alone!
A man all blood and bone and blood. Right, put down!
Take care, Mr. Bennet.
Stay back, he knows me! Down, Right, put down!
You'll sleep for some time now. The morphia should see to that.
Thank you, Doctor.
And thanks for your help, Mr. Bennett. But he should be seen by a first-class surgeon.
No.
We had him firmly by the throat.
And you've dressed the wound well. I do have a medical degree.
Then you know the teeth passed dangerously close to the carotid artery.
But he'll survive.
Well, yes, I think the danger is past.
Then no more outsiders, please. If his condition gets beyond these walls...
But what is his condition? I still can't quite believe what I saw out there. On the wall.
On the wall?
He was climbing, Mr. Bennett, climbing on the ivy, with the most extraordinary speed and agility, leaping from branch to branch like a... Isn't that so, Holmes? It was like a dream. On that moonlit wall in his dressing gown, he looked like a huge bat, and he seemed to climb for the sheer joy of it. His agility was, I can't fathom it.
For pleasure? He climbs an ivied wall for pleasure?
That's how it looked. And the other night, when he appeared at the young lady's window, he must have been, well, indulging in this mad pastime
When mere chance brought him to Edith's window?
Yes. We must assume so. Is that your opinion, Holmes? Holmes?
What?
Mere chance brought him to his daughter's window.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Holmes, what is this? How could he do those things? Is it madness?
Madness. Oh, yes, it's that.
Your interest in the dates, 9 days, you said. Are you thinking of some connection between bouts of insanity and phases of the moon?
Oh, no. A drug. A drug administered at regular 9-day intervals. The incident out of sequence, his appearance at the window on the 4th of September. Well, either he'd increased the dose or the effects were growing out of his control. I incline to the latter theory.
But what drug could bring about such a horrible transformation?
Perhaps we'll find the answer in that precious locked box of his. You said the key's on his watch chain.
Yes.
Yes, and the box in the laboratory.
It was, yes.
And bring the key and show us the way. As I warned you, we may have to violate his deepest privacy.
Yes, it fits. Not much here.
Not enough. You were right, Holmes. A hypodermic syringe.
One empty phial, one nearly full. And the letters, you see, with the cross under the stamp.
From our Bohemian friend in London, Dvorak. Well, I've already settled him. The police should be interviewing him now.
He's no more than an errand boy. I'm sure you'll find a more significant name in that other letter.
This one? It's from Prague. Should I read it, Mr. Holmes?
If you can face all the truth.
Well, of course I... Why should I not? I shall read it. From someone named H. Lowenstein.
Lowenstein? I know that name. Oh, my God.
He says... no.
Let me see. Honored colleague, the treatment enjoin caution, not without danger. The serum of anthropoid would have been better. Have used black-faced langur. A specimen was accessible.
Langur?
An ape from the Himalayas, is it not? Yes, the most human of climbing monkeys.
He was injecting himself with ape serum?
Lowenstein is already known and condemned by his profession for his ruthless search for the secret of rejuvenescence, for the elixir of life.
His strength, his agility.
New use, new virility. And of course the dog must have sensed the change in him before anyone else. His smell.
Alice. Dear God, Alice.
Holmes, even Lowenstein won't resist you. We'll write to him, yes? Even go there, go to Prague. Confront him with his criminal responsibility for this obscenity.
Yes, we can stop Lowenstein, but others will follow. Others may find a better way. The sensual, the material, the worldly. They'll prolong their worthless lives. Those more of the spirit will resist the temptation. So who will survive? What sort of cesspool might our world become?
So, you think you understand, Mr. Philosopher Holmes?
Professor!
How can you... Professor, you should not be moving.
Be still, Doctor. My elixir is more powerful than any common sawbones can know. More potent than your morphia.
You must go back to bed.
And you, Holmes, you lecture me about when my work should be done, when my life should be over.
I do not lecture, I merely observe with horror.
Horror? The meddling detective, the grubby snoop, is horrified? How can you understand my horror? That I should wither before my work. My life is fulfilled. How can you understand my need?
Professor, let me.
Dear God!
Strange to hear that name from one who'd flout nature's laws.
What? Oh, I'm not down here to pray, Holmes. My legs gave way. They just gave way.
Look at yourself. Listen to yourself. Is this the man of renewed youth who'll wait at the altar for Miss Alice Morphy? And don't you think a wife, even one as innocent as she, will sense that you stand there with blood in your veins? That's an affront to nature. Blood that flows from a monstrous experiment that's already brought you like an animal to your daughter's window in the middle of the night. That's aroused disgust and fear in your family, your friends, even your own dog. Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
There's an early train to town. But I think we have time to return to the Chequers first for a refreshing cup of tea.
What's to become of me?
You have a loyal servant in Mr. Bennet here, and I think still a devoted friend.
Of course.
God bless you, Bennet.
He and your daughter will see you through what will no doubt be a long and painful convalescence, and perhaps you'll have a wife to guide you with proper discipline to a full recovery. Now, Watson, the Chequers and that tea.
In The Creeping Man, Sherlock Holmes was played by Clive Medicine and Dr. Watson by Michael Williams, with Robin Ellis as Professor Presbury. Edith Presbury was played by Deborah Berlin, Alice Murphy by Annabel Mullion, and Jack Bennett by Oliver Senton. The violinist was Leonard Friedman. The Creeping Man was dramatized for radio by Robert Forrest and directed by Patrick Rayner.